Wolfpack, what I have here today is an awesome 4-season military tent. This is made by Litefighter, and this is the Catamount 2. Check this thing out, everyone. Without a doubt, this is a burly shelter, and in this episode, I will show you and tell you all about it. As I begin setting up the tent, I will go over some stats and information for you all. The retail price of this 4-season military tent is $553. And as I mentioned before, it comes from a company known as Litefighter. If you are in the United States military currently, it is likely that you are familiar with this company. The Catamount 2 was designed to be a cold weather combat tent, which was originally designed with Special Forces units who wanted and needed a highly stable, backpackable, and fairly lightweight shelter system that could be used in a wide range of weather conditions. That need was met with the Catamount 2 tent. Next to the tent being extremely strong, it's also very easy to set up. And at the same time, it is spacious for 2 occupants. And because it features a double wall design, it will protect the soldier no matter the weather and no matter what the mountain operation might be. As you may be able to tell by now, this tent features an exoskeleton. That means that the poles are on the outside of the body. The tent features 3 poles. You have the main spider pole and you have 2 windbreaker poles. It features a true double wall design and also features a fly first pitch, which means that you can set this tent up in nasty conditions, in the rain, in the snow, and you don't have to worry about the inner getting wet or icy. The tent poles themselves are very burly, they're very strong, and they were designed for not only snow loading, but strong winds. And the same goes for the materials of this tent. Speaking of which, you're looking at a 30 denier nylon rain cover, 70 denier nylon inner. It features a nylon floor, and unfortunately, that's all the information that I have as far as materials go, other than YKK zippers have been used. The tent comes with 16 ground stakes, a waterproof user's guide, a setup guide. You receive an accessory kit that includes a patch kit for this tent. It comes with a ground sheet and also the burrito stuff sack. Just in case you're wondering, the NSN number is 3440-01-685-4246. Additionally, the tent does come with 6 guy lines and 4 snow anchors. As you all can see, the tent has been set up, and that was a very simple process. For a 4-season tent, this is incredibly smooth, incredibly quick. There's nothing here with the setup process that will give you any sort of trouble. Now, let's take a look at the design of this tent. You can see that the poles are on the outside of the tent, and I want to ask you all this. Do you see a problem with this? I'll pause the video, comment down below. I'll come back in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. While I love the setup process, I have to admit, I'm not the biggest fan of having an exoskeleton on my tents. When you have the poles on the outside, this does present problems in winter conditions, namely with the poles freezing. What will happen in some conditions is that the moisture will fall onto these poles and it will freeze, preventing you from taking these poles apart when it's time to break down your tent. Now, I've been in some situations where the breakdown process of having the exterior poles has taken half an hour or longer to get the poles apart. I've had issues in freezing rainstorms and also with snow. Yeah, the situation was basically the poles were slightly warm. Snow was falling. Everything that landed on the poles would freeze into place at the joints. And the next day, or a couple days later, it would be extremely difficult to get them apart. Not impossible, but difficult. Knowing Litefighter, I wouldn't be surprised if the company had a solution to this potential problem. I'm sure they've encountered this with their own testing, and also I'm sure the military has encountered this issue with their own use. Now's a good time to go over the features of this tent. It features 2 doors, one here, one on the other side. It features 2 vents. One here, one on the other side. You have 4 guy off points with this tent. They are in the corners and they are ready to go. The tent does come with 2 additional guy off lines. You can see here with the heavy duty poles, the heavy duty materials, and the overall design of this tent that it was basically designed to be in nasty weather. And this point is backed up with a fly. It goes basically all the way down to the ground. You have nothing more than an 1.5 inch gap between the fly and the ground itself. There is a little bit of room for airflow to get inside of the tent, so you don't have to worry about condensation, or I should say, hopefully you won't have to worry about condensation. I will test this out in the future. So make sure to stay tuned to the channel. I will have at least 1, maybe 2 test night episodes in addition to my review and also a before you buy, which is in regards to the setup process of this tent. Coming up very soon, there will be many videos in regards to this tent here on the Outdoor Gear Review. So stay tuned. With the doors, you have a storm flap that goes over the zippers. Inside of the tent, there are many features to talk about. For an example, this tent does feature bathtub floors, and they are aggressive. On the long ends, they are 8 inches. Here on the sides, they're about 4 inches. The tent does have, as I mentioned before, 2 doors, and each of those are double walled, and also you do have mesh for both. You have 2 upper pockets, and you have 4 corner pockets. And without a doubt, there's plenty of space inside of this tent for 2 people and their gear. Additionally, you do have 2 large vestibules, which are large enough to house your backpack, shoes, other gear, and so on. Speaking of vestibule storage space, you're looking at 10.5 square feet per vestibule. 21 square feet total. Something else that should be mentioned, this tent has been treated with a bug repellent that will deter mosquitoes, ticks, and so on. It is called Skin Tex MR3, which is a very nice feature to have, especially in tick country such as this. The fly and also the floor have been seam taped. The tent features OCP camo. The pack weight is right at 10 pounds at 9.8 pounds. When the tent is all packed up, you're looking at 22 inches by 9 inches in diameter. And when it comes to the dimensions of the tent, I will give you those right now. The entrance of the door comes to 33 inches. The tent features a peak height of 39 inches. The tent is 59 inches wide, and it is 88 inches long. So without a doubt, this is a big tent. So if you're a tall guy, a big guy, this tent is going to work for you. And also, as I mentioned before, there's plenty of space here for at least 2 people. For the most part, everyone, that should be everything that you need to know about the Catamount 2 tent. I've gone over the stats, the features, the dimensions. If there's something that I forgot, comment down below, and I'll make sure to mention that in a future episode. I can tell you all this much about the tent so far. These are my initial impressions. First off, it is heavy as hell. This is a big tent. I mean, the stuff sack, the storage bag, which I refer to as the burrito bag, it's big. There's no doubt about that. But with that being said, the tent does give me the impression that this is going to be an awesome 4-season shelter. The tent poles are burly. The materials are excellent. The craftsmanship is excellent. There's no loose threads. Everything's been double stitched, reinforced where it needs to be. As far as a 4-season tent goes, this thing looks like it's ready to go. It really does. I love the storage bag, the burrito bag. That's awesome. Again, the setup process could not be any easier. It does have that one big flaw though. The poles are on the outside of the tent. This is a flaw. I'm not a big fan of this, but it is what it is. It needs to be said that having exterior poles, the exoskeleton in other words, is not rare. Many companies do this, but for myself, I'm not a huge fan. The tent can be set up in multiple ways, including the way that you see here. You can also remove the inner, you can use a ground sheet, you can also set it up without the ground sheet. There's tons of space inside of this tent. It does feature the 2 doors. You have the snow anchors. And for now, everyone, that pretty much wraps up this episode. Those are my thoughts, my initial impressions. I cannot wait to get this tent out, to really test it out. I hope to have at least 2 test night episodes with this tent. One in rain, one in snow and strong winds, just to see how well this thing does perform. Of course, I will be taking this tent out for many months, testing it out, and ultimately I will give you all my agenda-free review. I am going to put this tent through its paces. You are going to see many overnight adventures with this tent, and I cannot wait. In fact, a big winter storm is on the way in a couple of days, and I may take this tent out in it. It really depends on what type of storm it is. Initially, they were calling for snow, but now it sounds like it's going to be like rain, freezing rain. So, we'll see. Who knows? But my initial impressions of this tent are very, very positive. I like what I see here. The setup process alone really does impress me. I mean, they really have created a tent that sets up fast, it sets up simple, and because of that, I am impressed. I really am. Make sure to comment down below, share your thoughts about this tent. What do you all think? What do you all think about the design? The exterior poles? What's your opinion? Do you like? Do you dislike? And for what reasons? Make sure to share those. If you have any experiences with this tent, please share those with the community because that's what we're here for. We are here to help each other out. We are here to provide information. That's what the Outdoor Gear Review is all about. Again, the Outdoor Gear Review is 100% agenda free. And if you like this episode, hit the thumbs up. Support if you want to. It is appreciated. Until next time, everyone, take care. Strength and honor. Have a good one.